If I could please have Ian Young come up with the Tarhi Law Order of the Arrow.
Please rise if you're able to participate in the Pledge of Allegiance, Scout Oath, and Law. Please face the American flag and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Please face the council flag and join me in the Scout Oath, Scout sign. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. The Scout law. Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Please remain standing for the invocation.
Thank you and welcome, and we can welcome the Lord into the house. Let us pray. Father, thank you for this day of recognizing outstanding performance, good leadership, and development of youth in this country. We are proud to be a part of your organization to do your will, to help young people develop into good leaders and our future leadership. We ask that you bless this food, that it will nourish our bodies to serve you. These things we ask in your holy name. Amen.
Please be seated. May I please have all new Eagle Scouts stand. Congratulations. Please be seated. At this time, I'd like to recognize some of our dignitaries and honored guests. From our state legislator, we have Brian Lampton. We have our U.S. Senator Bob Hackett, State Senator, sorry, and U.S. Congressman Warren Davidson. Our Tecumseh Council officers here today, our Council President Kent Rosenbaum, our Council Commissioner, Bob Hemmerly. Our VP of Communications, Bartley Davis. Our VP of Membership, Elwyn Spray. And I'd like to recognize all our Scout professionals that are represented by our Scout Executive and CEO, Rob Lavoie. For all of you that don't know me, my name is Rob Hay. I am an executive board member with Tecumseh Council, along with many other fun jobs I get to do. So at this time, I'd like everyone to stay seated, except for our 2021 Tecumseh Council class of Eagles. And I'd like our elected officials to also please head over to our Tecumseh Council Eagle area for pictures. Our 2021 Outstanding Eagle Scout Award recipients, Bob Berge and Steve Kennedy. Steve cannot be with us today, but Bob is. If you could please stand and be recognized. You can learn more about the Outstanding Eagle Scout Award and the Distinguished Eagle Scout Award and see the complete list of recipients in your program. Also, I'd like to take note that the event was made possible by a dedicated group of Eagle Scouts and Scouters who are serving as the Tecumseh Council NESA Committee. J.T. Burcham, Steve Kennedy, our council past president Dan Kirkpatrick, Hunter Marks, Sidney Palomino, Raleigh Sandy, Elwyn Spray, and our council NESA chair Brian Earhart. I'd like to thank our lodge chief, Ian Young, from the Tarhee Lodge, for his cheerful service today and opening our ceremony. At this time, I'd like to invite Brian Earhart to come forward now and introduce our speaker. Brian?
Thank you, Rob. We are extremely honored today to have US Congressman Representative Warren Davidson with us today. His bio is in the program, and he asked for a brief introduction because he said if people wanted to know more about him, they can read it or Google him. But one of the things that I thought was really interesting was he said that as a ranger in the Army, he only had 24 jumps. It's like, only 24? That seems like quite a lot. But he especially likes jumping and lightning. So if you would please welcome Representative Warren Davidson.
Yeah, thanks for the short intro. I don't think we put those stories online anywhere. And a lot of times people read them off, and I think my mom wrote the first bio, so it's all glowing and everything good. But it is really an honor to join you all, and I can't believe I'm in the presence of this many Eagle Scouts. I didn't really know what an Eagle Scout was until I got into the Army. And you get in the Army and you meet some people that had this background, and wow, these people already know a whole lot of the stuff they're trying to teach us to do in the Army. And then as I got into business, I realized the camaraderie that is really a lifetime, sort of fraternity of Scouts for sure, but in particular Eagle Scouts. So I've found business leaders who are seasoned pros and built sort of mini business empires to speak of. And the thing when they look back that they're most proud of are their Eagle Scout days. So, you look at the things that the young men and I think a handful of young women, at least one in the room, now instead of Boy Scouts, it's Scouts, right? So things have changed for this organization. But I think it is impressive to see what is going on with the organization and the continuity that comes out of service. And as I listen to your opening Scout statements, I guess I will butcher them. And I remember the Ranger Creed, and I see some of the same phrases that are woven into that Ranger Creed. It reminded me of that so much that I wonder who wrote the original Ranger Creed. Was this person an Eagle Scout? So whatever you confront in your future, you're almost certainly to be well prepared for it, and that's fitting since it's part of the Boy Scout motto, right? Be prepared, or Scout motto, sorry, working on it. Scout motto. And, when I think about my lifetime of experiences, I just thought I'd share a couple things with you that initially I called cliches. And then as a parent, when my daughter got to high school, she informed me that, Dad, those are not cliches, those are sayings. Cliches are things everyone says. You have things that you say. So, okay. So I'll share a couple of them with you, and I'll just say a couple things in life. One of them, I'll start with Ranger School, because people will ask, well, what's the number one thing that you learned from Ranger School, which is, for the Army, considered, one of the top leadership development courses that you can go to. And there's a difference. There's the tab, where you go to the school, and then there's the scroll, which is the unit. And I had the good fortune to be able to do both. But the school, it is pretty intense. You've got the woodlands, the mountains, and the swamp. There used to be a desert phase, so I went through the shorter version that no longer had the desert phase. But it was still plenty intense. And at the end, I could say, looking back on it, everything you really need in life, except for people, fits in a rucksack. So you think about what fits in a rucksack. You got food, clothing, shelter, first aid, and normally you're carrying it, your weapon, security. And then, to get through the school, you can't do it alone. You've got to have people. And so a lot of the primitive things that you would pack in a rucksack or know how to use correctly, you guys are already learning in Scouts. But I think when you think about the reflection, so much in our society focuses on things and stuff, and the pursuit of more stuff, sometimes for the sake of the stuff. And the stuff is nice. I mean, I have more things than I actually need today by a lot. But when you look at it, a lot of the anxiety that comes in life is the pursuit of stuff. And it's nice sometimes to pull back and have a little bit of perspective and say, what all the stuff you actually need fits in a rut. And for the most part, you're going to be able to look with that perspective and give thanks for whatever you have. But the one thing that I've never found that you can have too much of is people. You're never going to find that you don't benefit from a bigger, stronger network of friends, associates, people who are interested in being helpful to you, and part of that is by you being helpful to them. And I think that's part of the camaraderie that you've experienced as Scouts, and that you will experience in a special way, really for your lifetime, in particular as Eagle Scouts. I'll share another one. At West Point, people say, what did you learn? And, plenty of things. They used to say it was a $250,000 education back when that was a lot of money. But it was delivered one nickel at a time. And so, when you look back on it, what did I take away? And I think one of the biggest ones was, you have to fight the battle you're actually in. Not necessarily the one that you plan to be in or the one that you hoped to be in, but the one that you must fight in order to win. And this is something that Dwight Eisenhower phrased differently about the value of planning. He found planning invaluable, but the plan itself almost useless. It never survives the first contact. And we're hopefully seeing that as Vladimir Putin maybe had a plan when he was going to go into Ukraine, and the people of Ukraine have delivered a little feedback for him, and that's a good thing. I hope they are incredibly successful delivering that feedback. And so as you go about things, make sure you have plans, and then make sure that you actually understand what's going on in the situation. So some of that comes from the relationships and networks that I already talked about. The other thing is just being flexible in terms of how do you achieve your plans. So you don't have to shift your goals and be aimless. I think by this point, everyone in the room's probably learned how to use a compass. And I will say, you set out on a course, and if you're really stubborn, or sometimes maybe you just don't know any other skills on navigation other than to follow the azimuth on the compass, it can be pretty hard. You wade through swamps, you break through brush, you might have to scale a cliff. But, if you learn some other tools in navigation, you can look at the terrain, read the, contour intervals on a map, bypass the really rough stuff, and then get back on course. So you want to be able to check the azimuth. You want to be able to have a plan so that you go where you're intending to go. But you do need that ability to fight the battle you're actually in to wind up where you're headed. So I don't know what your plans are after high school. I hope some of you are interested in serving our country in uniform, whether that's as I did initially, enlisting, or if it's through our service academies. One of the real joys that I get as a member of Congress is to nominate people to our service academies. And, I'm inspired because our country is truly made and kept free by an all-volunteer force. And in spite of things that people can look to and feel concerned, alarmed, or maybe even at times cynical, it's inspiring to see the caliber of young men and women who are still willing to volunteer to serve our country, particularly in uniform. There are a lot of other ways you can serve, and that's one thing that Scouts are known for, and the kind of impact you have on the community. And I guess that's the last thing. You don't have to wait for later to serve. And one of the lessons I learned in life was kind of adapted from a Teddy Roosevelt saying, do the best you can with what you have, where you are. And I guess I added to it now, which is, because a lot of times you kind of spend so much time thinking and planning, and you say, well, I'll do better next semester, or I'll do better next season, or when I get this job, or after I graduate, or what. There's always a reason to put it off. And, let's face it, I put off a little more exercise than I should have over the past COVID period, right? So knowing is one thing, but doing's the other part, right? And I just think that's the part about the now. And particularly for young people, and I would say in my life, people say, well, what was the key to get the successes? I mean, first of all, with God, all things are possible. But they're especially possible here in the United States of America, and maybe more so here in Ohio. But I will say, how did the opportunities come for the most part? It came by giving 100% to what I was doing at the time. And I didn't do that in high school, candidly. So when I was getting ready to graduate high school, September, my senior year, my high school guidance counselor says to me, what are you going to do after high school? And I said, well, I want to be an Army Ranger. And I thought that was a good answer. I knew, the answer. She looks at me and she goes, oh, well, you're pretty smart. I thought you would probably go to college. And I said, well, I thought maybe I could go to West Point, then I could be in the Army and go to college. I had no clue what it took to go to West Point. And she realized that by her expression, looking at me like I was crazy. And she goes, baby, that's not going to happen. Which sounds mean, but she was just being honest, right? She was just being honest. And she saw my bubble burst, and she goes, well, you wrestle. Are they recruiting you? Like maybe there's an in if you do that? No. So she was like, oh, well, okay, these are the people that usually get in. And I was like, yeah, that doesn't look a lot like my resume right now. And the lesson learned in that moment was you don't have to have the potential to do the work. You have to have demonstrated the potential to do the work. And I think that's the other great thing about Scouts. I'm looking out here at all these badges and tabs and emblems that you guys have, and you guys know what every one of them means, and I don't, but I can tell that you've achieved a lot of things to get them. And that gives you little milestones. As you go on in life, a lot of times they won't be so visible to others, but they also might not be as visible to you. So that's one of the hard things, is you go from specified tasks to the implied ones, and you set these little challenges that help you move on your way. But as I say, you don't have to wait for forever. You can do it now, and so many of you already are through Scouts. So it's my honor to be able to join you, and my honor to be able to congratulate you on the success you're already having, head and shoulders above so many of your peers in so many ways. And thanks for having me today. It is truly an incredible honor to serve our country in the way that I get to right now. And I just appreciate your prayers for the work that I'm doing for our country today, for the people of Ukraine. And frankly, as I look out at our state legislature, we're increasingly aware, perhaps more so in the past 2 years than any time in a long time, how important our state government is to the policies that influence our day-to-day lives. So thanks a lot, and God bless you all.
Congressman Davidson, thank you on behalf of Tecumseh Council for your speech today. Appreciate it very, very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
The Eagle Scout Project is the capstone for most of us as we travel our Eagle Trail. While all projects provide valuable service to their beneficiaries, our Tecumseh Council NESA committee of scouters from across the council had the very difficult task of selecting the best of the best for 2021. Presenting the award today is our Tecumseh Council NESA Chair, Brian Earhart. Brian, if you could please come up.
Thanks again, Rob. As he mentioned, every single project is important, especially to the beneficiary organization or group, of which thousands upon thousands of hours have been exerted in service by scouting to them. So no one person obviously can make this decision. So we review, just so that everyone knows the process, every single Eagle Scout project we review. And then a team from across the council reviews those projects to try to make that difficult decision of selecting one project. So for this year, I'm very happy to introduce to you Eagle Scout Claire McKeechin. If she and her family could please come forward. Congratulations, Claire. I just want to tell everyone here just a little bit about your project, and then we'll ask you for just a couple of words. The idea for Claire's project grew out of her interest in genealogy and her desire to help others complete their own genealogical research. The St. Bridget Cemetery in Xenia contained numerous gravestones that date back to before the Civil War. Many of them have worn with time, and there were some graves that were even unidentified. But interestingly enough, paper records existed for these graves. So, using these records, cloud technology, and smartphones, Claire trained and led a team of scouts and adults in electronically documenting, photographing, and geolocating nearly 2,000 graves. Over 100 of these were unreadable, and 8 were completely unmarked. But after her project, all 108 of those graves are now cataloged, marked, and available for research and future generations. So please join me in congratulating Claire McKeechin on being the Tecumseh Council Adams Award recipient for 2021.
Thank you, everybody. I'm so honored and really grateful to have received this award. I wasn't expecting it at all, but it really means so much to me. I'd like to start off by thanking a few people, and I want to start with my parents. I really haven't told them enough how grateful I am for their support and guidance through my journey towards Eagle. I wouldn't be here also today without my brother, Bryce, who's also here earning his Eagle Scout. And we really supported each other and helped us get to this point, and I'm really glad I was able to share this moment with him. And I'd also like to thank my Scoutmaster, Mrs. Smith, who is also attending today. I would not be standing here today if it wasn't for her. I really can't describe how grateful I am for everything she's done to help get me to this point. It really means so much to me from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Mrs. Smith. I'd also like to thank my mentor and my guide for my Eagle project, Mr. West. He offered so much good support and guidance, and yeah, he was another person that really helped make today possible. And finally, I'd like to thank all the scouts that participated in my Eagle project. I couldn't have been here without them, and I'm so grateful for that. Thank you, everybody.
And I'll turn it back over to you, Rob.
Thank you, Brian. All right. So I'd like to invite our Scout Executive, Rob Lavoie, up on stage. Rob? I'm a little teary-eyed after Claire's, and I know Rob's the same way. Every single one of these, as I read them, I'm almost crying as I'm on the committee. So,
What an incredible, incredible group. Claire, all the other Eagles from the class of 2021. What an incredible year. Last year we celebrated the inaugural class of Eagle Scout girls. This year we have several more. But let me take you back a couple of years. 2 years ago, in a couple weeks, the world shut down because of COVID-19. I can go back to my Eagle Scout when I earned it in However, I look back on mine, I had it easy. We went to meetings every single week. We had adults and other youth challenging us every single week. This year's Eagle class did it differently. You did it through team meetings, Zoom, your personal integrity, standing up every single day without someone else taking their foot or their hands and pushing you to get there. This year's class deserves a lot more praise than probably any other Eagle class that we've had. Congratulations to this year's Eagle Scout class. You've done a lot of great things and a lot of things to be proud of. And we look forward to seeing you in years to come, being on the NISA committee and making those tough selections on which project to choose, because I've read them all, Claire. Yours stood out, but every single one is tremendous in their own right. Congratulations again.
now we reach the main part of our luncheon today, the recognition of the Tecumseh Council Class of 2021 Eagle Scouts. If I could please have our dignitaries come up to the stage at this time. As I call your name, Eagles, please cross, starting with Mr. Lavoie and working your way down. If I have not already spoken with you and learned your name, I'm sorry if I butcher it. Peter Beller. Zachary Bloser. Robert Foley. Owen Fenning. Carl Fisher. Cedric Goche. Eunice Goche. Oh, Galib, sorry. Ryan Hanford. Jack Hatchell. Nicholas Hayart. John Irvin. Justin Cutter. Gabriel Lavender. David Leaf. John LaFeld. Connor Luby. Bryce McEachin. Claire McEachin. Callum Meyer. Patrick O'Connor. Ethan Retzinger. Trevor Ross. Arun Gunath Bethi Sunkar. Caleb Shurek. Cody Shurek. Jared Schweck. Are there any Eagle Scouts from the class of 2021 that I did not call out already? Great. If our dignitaries and leaders could be seated, please. At this time, I would like all Eagle Scouts present to rise as we read aloud and reaffirm our oath with the Eagle Scout promise. I reaffirm my allegiance to the three promises of the Scout Oath. I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to make my training and example, my rank and my influence, count strongly for better scouting, and for better citizenship. In my troop, in my community, and in my contacts with other people. To this I pledge my sacred honor. Two. Please be seated. As we finish, I would like to again thank all those who participated in getting us to today's event. A special thanks goes to our sponsor, Grace Lutheran Church, our speaker, Congressman Davidson, our caterers, Ivan and Susie Nunez, and our special guests here today. But also to all the leaders, the parents, the family, fellow scouts, friends, teachers, coaches, and our staff, who influenced and helped our youth along the trail to Eagle. As we close, will Brian Ehart please come forward for a final presentation and his closing words.
Thanks again, Rob. I just want to thank everyone for coming today. And if we could have a representative from Casa Nunez, please. We have a small token of our appreciation. Ivan, I'm sure we'll be out here shortly. But while they're coming, I just want to impress upon all of you that are here today to please continue to do what you have always done as scouts. Continue to do what you have done on your Eagle Trail. And continue to do what you have seen exemplified by our scout leaders, our community leaders that are here today. Continue that life of service. The Eagle Trail never ends. There's just another summit to climb. Eagle Scout Nunez, would you please come forward? thank you again for a wonderful meal. And please accept this as a token of our sincere gratitude for everything you've done for us today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm pretty sure that I was an Eagle Scout before many of you were born, but that's okay.
We also have a similar plaque for Eagle Scout Pastor Broadbeck from Grace Evangelical Lutheran, who provided this beautiful facility for us. This is the second year that they've done that, and we really, really appreciate that. And if, oh yes, please. If Rob could please come forward. Hey, I need to specify, there's two Robs here sitting side by side. It's like Robs squared.
Ooh, I like that. We'll use that at camp.
So it's also a tradition that we give our MC a plaque for our gratitude. Thank you so very much. This is not an easy job. Thank you. Well, don't walk away because I was going to turn it back over to you. Thanks.
Thanks, Brian. Let me have that.
Yeah, you're going to need that.
The National Eagle Scout Association, also known as NESA, allows Eagle Scout alumni to continue to stay in touch with the BSA. Hear positive stories about the BSA's impact on the community and learn the latest methods provided by Scouting to transform the lives of young men and women through the tenets of leadership, character development, citizenship, and physical fitness. NESA is also an outlet for alumni to network and collaborate with one another under the common banner of Scouting, which may include increasing business connections and participating in service to the BSA or other organizations. Will the NESA members in attendance please stand and be recognized? Please be seated. To the Eagle Scouts here, if you are not currently a NESA member, we invite you to join the association and join us for the upcoming activities we have planned. We encourage you to join us for a burger, as we will host our Burger Burn Cookouts for you at Camp Birch on June 15th and the 22nd and July 13th and the 20th during summer camp. Please see the back of today's program for more information. And last but not least, we will resume conducting Life to Eagle presentations that some of you, many have not seen. Please encourage the Scouts following in your footsteps to take advantage of these opportunities. In closing, my challenge to you as an Eagle: live up to the expectations of Eagle Scout. Give back to others. Stay involved in Scouting. Thank your Scout leaders. I want to thank all of you for coming out today and supporting your Eagles and supporting all of the Eagles that made it in 2021. It was a very difficult time. Please drive safely home and have a great day.